Today's lesson is going to be color corrections and a couple of things with the blog. So first, when you have images open on Photoshop, you guys need to have 3 images open. If you go to File, Open, then you can go to your folder that you have saved all of your work in. If you've saved your images in Photos, you need to go to Media and then go to Photos. If you have images on a jump drive, that would be the same thing. It would be under Media. So if you go to your photos and open them up, you'll notice up at the top bar, you'll have each picture, and you can click in the box. If you don't like the picture, you can click the X to close out of it so that you're not using it. If you want to change pictures, the look of them, you can change them with changing the brightness, the contrast, changing the colors, different things like that. So you will go up to the top and go to Image, and then Image Mode is where you will find what kind of printing it will be in, the color that it will be in. So if you had saved a picture that was already in grayscale, if you go to Image Mode, then you can change it out of grayscale. Okay? You can also go in and change the image to be CMYK, convert the colors, and then it will print better, closer to those colors using your printer. If you go to Adjustments, you can change the brightness and contrast, levels, curves, hue and saturation, color balance, photo filter, invert, posterize, desaturate. There's all these different selections. So if you click on brightness and contrast, then you can go through and you can change how bright the image is, how much light is coming in on it, or you can darken it up if it's too bright already. You can also change the contrast, which is the dark areas in an image, how dark those will be and how light those will be. You'll notice that in my image, it shows a preview the whole entire time. If you uncheck this box, it's not going to show you the preview. You want to make sure that that is checked always so that you can see what's going on. If you don't like it, you can always say cancel. If you go to Adjustments and you go to Levels, the next one, you can go to the different channels. CMYK is all 4 of the channels, the 4 different colors that it will be printing from. And here you can darken and lighten it as well. You'll notice down at the bottom it has a number, so you can change by a specific number as well. If you click on CMYK, you can go to each color separately, and you can change the bars so that then you add more of the cyan, or you take away the cyan. Same thing with each color. You can go through and just change and get rid of colors and change colors. If you say okay and you don't like what you have done, you can always go up to Window and go to History. Your history bar should be over here on the right hand side, this 3 squares with an arrow. If you click on it, then you can go back steps, back all the way to where it's to the opening and nothing at all has been changed. If you hit the double arrow, it will close that menu bar. If you go back up to Image Adjustments, then you can go through each of those separately and change different areas. Curves is similar to Levels, except for you can change it in different areas of the picture with those dark and lights. Okay, so you can go through, that's the whole RGB. I can go with just the reds, and I can change just the reds. Okay. The other thing that you can do in here, if you go to change it to black and white, so then it can be all black and white, and you can add in a little bit more color here, changing the darkness and the lightness of it. Okay. To also change it to black and white, you can go down to the bottom and desaturate. Desaturate is a better way to do it because then you can still use other colors on top of your image if you're painting or typing and you want to change color, so desaturate's a little bit better than the black and white. If you go to photo filter, oh wait, let's go back, undo that. So now if you go to photo filter, then these are just different filters that are already set up. Warming filter, cooling filter, and separate colors. So if you go to the cooling filter, you see this color changes to blue. And if we click off of the preview, then you'll notice that the blues come out a lot more. Okay, you can change the color to a different color if you want as well, and it just changes the look of it to be a little bit more of that color. You can change the percent of it, how much of that color you actually want. Okay, so that's the color photo filter. You can also invert the image. If you invert it, then it changes it to the negative of the image. If you hit Command Z, then that will undo, like that's what I just did. Command Z, that undoes what you just did. Or you can go into the history. You can only undo one step. So if you have a whole bunch of steps that you've done, you have to go into the history to do that. So if you go to posterize, which is the next one, then you can make it look kind of like a poster. If you change the levels down, you can make it even more, or you can make it clearer by going up and changing in there. So those are different adjustments. You guys can go through and look at those different ones and try out different things. You also have autocorrects. These autocorrects are what the computer believes the color should change to and what would make it look better. You can also go to image size here, and you can change and see what size your image is. So like the other day I was telling you guys, when you look up on the internet different pictures that you want to use, you can go to image size and see the resolution here and see the size of the document here. So when you get a picture off of the internet, if it is only like a 2x2 and the resolution is 72, you're not going to be able to do much with it. You can always go in and you can change the resolution and try and make it higher. But if the image is really small, that's not going to do anything for it. You can also go to canvas size, and you can change the size of the canvas. If you click on the arrows, then that's where that actual extra size is going to go. So if I click on this top middle and I change the height to be 10, then you'll notice this white comes up. Okay, so we can undo that. You can also do an image rotation here. So if your picture is sideways, then you can change it here, flip it counterclockwise, or the other way. So you can undo that. So if your picture comes in the wrong way, you can do that. If you want to copy an image and make it like the mirror image of it, then you can flip the canvas horizontally and vertically, so then it's upside down. So when you are done with each of these images and working with them, on the photo blog you'll see this color corrections assignment number 5. It's due at the end of class today, so we just went over how to do the color corrections, and the video will be attached here as well. When you have finished with the tutorial, you guys are going to upload 3 images to your blog in a gallery. Each photo will use a different color correction adjustment. You will upload the following. One of your photos needs to be desaturated, one of them you need to change the brightness and contrast, and one of them you'll use the photo filter. Each of those you'll save separately in your digital art folder so that you have those images saved. Then you will go to your blog, and the blog post title will be color corrections. then each of those photos will be titled to correspond with the adjustment used. So if I go to my dashboard here, I'm going to show you guys how to do a gallery. If it will load. If you go to media and you add more media, then you can select your 3 images that you saved. So I'm just not going to choose any because I already have a bunch. Okay, then if you go to your post, add new post, this post will be called color corrections. Then I'm going to click add media, and on the left hand side I'm going to create a gallery. So I will choose, just by clicking on each image, I will choose the 3 photos that I have color corrected. Now in your caption, you will change, let's delete that one and save that one. You'll change the caption to be the corresponding color correction that you've done. So that one is desaturated. This one will say is brightness and contrast. And this one we will say is poster or photo filter. Okay, then you click create new gallery. You'll notice that the titles are all there. Where it says columns, it depends on how many images you have. We have 3, so we want to make sure the columns are set at 3 so that then all 3 images are together in my columns. And then I will say publish. Once I publish, then I'm going to view my post to make sure that it shows up the way that it should. And you'll see here's the title, and then here's the pictures with the titles inside of the pictures so that we know which color correction was done. So you guys need to make sure that you do that gallery and that you understand how to do a gallery. You are also going to do, if you look on the blog, you guys are also going to do number 6 now when you're done with this, and be a self-portrait. So you're going to take a picture of yourself. You can either take one right now on your computer, or you can use one that you already have saved and then edit that photo using the color adjustments that we just went over. You'll upload that to your blog. The blog post should be titled self-portrait and title your photo. So if I go to my dashboard again, new post, self-portrait will be the title. This one does not need to be a gallery, it's just going to be one image. Should be a picture of yourself, but I'm just going to put the picture of the birds. And name it whatever you want. It needs to be something creative about yourself, whatever, and then insert into post, and then publish. And then make sure that you view your post to make sure that it shows up correctly and that you can see the title and that you have the blog post title as well. And that's how you do color corrections in Photoshop. Remember that you guys need to have the 3 photos plus your self-portrait.